Vibha is the director of Chasing Red Flags. Lights are very bright.
Is it right? With the allies? Right.
Oh, you're good. I'm just making a copy. You don't have to give them. All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. How are you feeling?
Great, actually.
Amazing. Give her a round of applause. So your film is the shortest of our blog, but also packs a punch. It still says a lot in the very limited sort of runtime it has. Fairy tales are, as we all know, traditionally sort of involve a lot of problematic, stereotypes and the things that have been normalized around gender and a lot of, roles of people. Why this specific aspect of a fairy tale? Why did you want to challenge this or subvert this?
I grew up reading fairy tales and watching Disney and stuff like that, and always dreamed of having a prince shop that someday comes save me. But real life proved quite otherwise. I felt like I was the one who was getting attracted to those trapped in their own castles. And I didn't know the term of red flags until I fell into that pattern over and over again. And when I was in the middle of it is when I was working on this. Actually, the story of this intended to have a happy ending. And I was trying to give myself that happy ending. But I realized that you don't need a happy ending with someone else saving you. So saving yourself is what you need.
That's very powerful. So you were chasing your own red flags. That's kind of where the inspiration came from.
I realized my own red flags in trying to chase red flags. Or trying to save people. Or rather, I would say red flags were more disguised as hearts. And we feel like, oh, that's all you want. It's like the happy ending, but that's the fairy tale that's sold to us. But it's all fairy tales were red flags.
Yes, they are. They all are, actually, yes. Was there something you learned about yourself in this process, or something that came out of it that helped you grow or have a realization afterwards making Stone?
So the process of this film was actually very long over the years. I filmed this. This was intended to be a proof of concept for testing out an animation style idea that I had in mind. And I come from an art background, so I wanted to do something hands-on. And it was more of an experiment initially, and I didn't take it too seriously. I didn't have invite to send it to festivals or anything like that. During the process, it was just me and my mom. I took photos of myself and made the artwork. There was a lot of cutting involved, paper cutting. And it was 3 weeks of pre-production of actually putting those things together and 2 days of filming. And I was filming this in my grandma's place back in India. And my family had planned a trip, going a little off track, but...
That's okay, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. So that was a family trip that everyone was looking forward to. But I canceled that because I was so into this. In 48 hours, I had to consistently film. Because if the light would change or something would slightly change, it would completely collapse. So I canceled that trip and I filmed it. And after I filmed it, I cleared up everything and I realized the last part, which was supposed to be the happy ending of ending up with the prince, did not record in my memory card. And so I was like, wait. And that's also about the story shooting this stuff. It didn't want to get filmed. So I was like, wait, okay, how? And I just thought it was more of an error and I just shelved it for a bit. And this was pre-film school. And then I shelved it and life went on. COVID happened. And I regretted not going for my family trip at that time because I lost family members and I lost my grandmom who's really supported me through this. And that just made me feel bitter about this film altogether. And I was like, what have I been doing? And I felt like the title itself, Chasing Red Flags, I was like, I've lost so much doing that. And this was a way of like coping. I felt selfish and I shelved that. And when I revisited this, I was working on a proof of concept for my feature, which has a similar animation style that is a part of it. And when I was working on that, my mom insisted that I complete this film. And also I screened a part of this in a table read, and I had people tell me, you should send this to festivals and complete this. So I sat and edited this, and when I did that, there were three things I got out of this in the sense of like, as a story, who you are when you're actually filming it can be very different from who you are when you complete it, and you grow as an artist when you do that. And style-wise, I realized that this film, I filmed a similar animation style of the US, and the budget I had for this one was actually nothing. Also, I wouldn't say nothing because I'm from an art background and I had a lot of these things already, and I had a camera and I had a printer at home. And if I had to put that together here, it was about $600 of just craft and materials.
Yeah.
And when I did this here, and I also realized how much my mom helped me, because when I had to do this on my own, it took me a month of pre-production and a week of filming.
Did you find in this process of your mom helping you that you also kind of bonded more?
Yes, a lot more. And I feel she was so excited about this film. And surprisingly, of all the films that I've made, even with like bigger budgets and like even film school films and like post-film school films, this one did really well at festivals unexpectedly.
Yeah, I mean, even for us, when we first saw it, we immediately were like, this has to come into the festival because, like I said, it's so short, but it says so much in that amount of time. So you've done a great job with that. Congratulations. Are there any questions in the audience? Or I can come back to you if you're thinking. Tell us more about why did you choose a stop motion style of animation? Is that something you're trained in, or is it something you want to experiment more with? And how did that relate to the story you were trying to tell?
Okay, so I am. I started as a painter and then a sculptor, and while I was doing that, I was interested in hands-on experimenting with media. And stop motion was something I didn't even realize that this is this process, but I would just like get things together and play it. Like I also just worked on video installations where there was like moving imagery. And stop motion became more of an experimental form for me to do this. And I was keen on having me be there when having like cast myself in it. Technically, but I would always draw self-portraits. So for stop motion, the best way that I thought is, okay, what if I just like have cutouts of me and I can just move it around. I also use like dolls for storyboarding and stuff like that to like block stuff up. So stop motion was more a part of my process that it ended up becoming a product in this one, and I decided to take that forward.
It looks great, right, guys? Yeah. I mean, who here has actually tried stop motion? Anyone? Would you want to after watching something like this? It's a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work.
Besides the 2 days of shooting, like how long would you say this whole process took? Just even prepping and cutting.
Prepping and cutting and the photo shoot. I would say a month.
And then obviously you said editing took much longer. Yeah. Any questions? Yes. We have a mic coming to you.
I'm facing the chair. Thank you. Vibha, we're a beautiful film, and thank you for sharing the story. I was curious, and you've probably been asked this before, but I just was left with wanting more. So I'm curious, would you ever consider continuing the story in, as an anthology or a longer piece? I know you had mentioned proof of concept. Just curious about how to get more of the story, if you thought about that.
Yes, I have. And it's a work in progress, I would say. And I definitely intend on using this animation style and the theme and explore that further in different ways.
Thank you. Anyone else?
director.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to share more about your feature, kind of how you were thinking and standing on this?
Yes, so my feature is...
It's a safe space. No one's going to share, don't worry.
Yeah. So my feature, like, I'm not going to share much, but like thematically, it's a rom-com, and it's based on...
We like rom-coms, right?
Astrology is a tool in that. And thematically, it's all about destiny is not set in stone. And so I feel like this animation style just felt perfect for me to like use or like build the astrological world, which is her inner world, the protagonists. So I plan on using this animation to explain the astrological aspects, to not make it too technical and just keep it fun while going with the flow of the romance.
Good thing. And then in terms of being interested in, fairy tales, subverting fairy tales, and also now astrology, was that part of your art before as well? Like, where does that sort of come from, that focus on that topic?
Astrology in specific? Or
yeah, astrology and fairy tales, kind of.
Yeah, fairy tales. Yeah. I like I said, I grew up reading fairy tales and like watching those kind of movies. But also at the same time, I felt a dissonance with real life. So I feel through my art, I have a thematic through line of exploring different tools that are otherworldly of some sort, mystical in a way, to just act as mirrors to yourselves. Yeah.
Is there something you wish people would sort of take away from this film?
I would say the red flags we see in other people are often the ones that we have unresolved in ourselves.
So deep. Yes. Any other questions? We're getting close to wrapping this up. All right. Any final thoughts you want to share?
Thank you. I feel so honored to be here.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. And I think, just to wrap up the sort of block, we, a lot of the film, actually all the films in this was sort of a little bit about how the agency of our humanity kind of gets taken away sometimes by different factors, just political, social, cultural, all of those things, and how these films are kind of addressing that in different angles and different ways. And also, I will say this blog has all the films you watched are all, doing really well, very accomplished films and amazing filmmakers. So you're in great company as well. Like just a few other shout outs because some of the filmmakers couldn't make it. Karmash, the Pakistani film, black and white film, premiered at Cannes this year. I think it was the only Pakistani film that premiered at Cannes, and that was, it's doing really well. Dewey Shaw, the Bangladeshi film, that's from an amazing filmmaker, Nuha Shumayan, who is basically dealing with, superstition and dealing with social issues through superstition and kind of magical realism and mysticism. So like a lot of these are tied to each other and overlapping with each other, but also in some way they're having a conversation with each other by being in this blog. So thank you so much for letting us show your film, and congratulations, and thank you so much.